80.
Of speak on it. Next week will be 81, which would be a nod to Kobe's 81. If according to LeBron, he knew that 81 game was on the horizon. I am your host, Danny Ocean, as always, joined by the smoothest man on the planet.
Oh,
How
yo,
you
it is so funny. First off, I want to start by saying this is the Jerry Rice episode. I knew there was an 80 that we were forgetting.
That's
This is the
it.
Jerry Rice episode. This is the Steve Largent episode, the Chris Carter episode, the James Lofton
Yeah.
episode, the Isaac Bruce episode. Let me start by saying that, these legends out the way. But it is honestly hilarious that we're at a point right now where people are looking at LeBron James and saying, yo, dog, you may be one of the two best basketball players ever, but you are the number one greatest liar this league has ever seen. Yo, I think at first it was just like a running joke, like, all right, we know Bron lying, but that's just Bron lying to lie. But it's like, all right, dog, now we've been building a case with you with these lies. The books, the Godfather, dog. Yo, he was like, yo, what's your favorite line from the Godfather? Bron was like, I mean, there's so many.
just peak
there's
peak
so
lying.
They said, "Yo, what's your favorite part of that Malcolm X book or whatever that you read?" And he said, "I mean, all of it's really, really bad."
just I appreciate it. I appreciate an elite liar. Like I
And then,
appreciate lying and not lying about stuff that matters. Lying about stuff that we do not care about. Like if he said, I ain't finished the Malcolm X book, let me get back to you. Cool. Nah, like he sat there like, how can I get out of this?
now, I think my favorite Bron line outside of the I knew Kobe was gonna score. I knew Kobe was gonna go for the record. My favorite lines when they was asking about the Liverpool legend, and he was like there, and Bron was he was like, yeah, I remember when he was in the club. I was just like, yo, Bron,
Yo.
come on, big dog, come on, big dog. Danny, before we get into our housekeeping items, and kind of get us going, I think collectively you and I both wanted to, as unfortunate as it may sound, start this episode off sending condolences. We want to send our truest and deepest condolences to the University of Virginia football program, and the three young black men who were murdered this earlier this week. Again, it is unbelievably sad at a country with that's supposed to be such a leader and a leader and pusher of democracy in this country, that we continue to have and face these same issues when it comes to gun violence. You would think at some point. Actually, no. Let me stop that. Let me say this. The more these incidents happen, the more it just shows us as people, who and what the powers at be really, really care about.
Yeah, it's the UVA thing hits hard because I don't know
Same
where you were.
state, 3 hours away from
Yeah.
where a nasty, disgusting, similar incident went down. Maybe about what 14 years ago or so.
Yeah, it's been like 14
And,
years since
and,
that.
and for those who may not be familiar with Virginia, the University of Virginia and Virginia Tech, we're talking about two schools that are 3 hours apart, 2.5 if you're driving in a car. You're talking about two schools where like families usually are split in half because somebody went to UVA and somebody went to Virginia Tech. I know throughout most of the time, the beef is, the sports beef is usually real with UVA and Virginia Tech, but Hokies for who's, dog? Because this is absolutely, it's just sickening and so heartbreaking because these are three young men, and I'm at the point now where I'm seeing men who are younger than me with a whole lot of life to live, losing their life to senseless gun violence. So rest in peace to the three young black men who lost their life. Rest in peace to Takeoff again. We just, at a certain point, we have to stop looking at our government to try to do better, and we as people need to do better. But we should also pay attention to the things in which our government wants to really put time and resources into stopping. Because I know they had time to make sure a certain student debt relief program got shut down. But when it comes to protecting us Americans and really strictening these gun laws, oh, now it's semantics. Now it's we got to state by state it. Okay.
Yeah. For me, it hits extra hard because I used to work in UV athletics, and some of my old colleagues are still there, so it kind of hits a little extra hard. So, yeah, everything you said. With that being said, as always, this show is brought to you by goingfor2.com. We are at the halfway point here at the season. Goingfor2.com, we're prepping for the playoffs. We're prepping for championships. A lot of teams are either going to make or break themselves over the next couple of weeks. I know I am in that category after this week, but we'll talk about our fantasy teams later in the show. Again, head over to goingfor2.com for all your fantasy needs. I'm still in first place, but the margin of error is really slim now, and Zach Ertz is now out for the year. So I'm kind of like, tight end was my only weakness, and now my tight end is gone.
We talked about that last week. We were like, yo, outside of tight end, you don't really have any weaknesses.
And now my tight end is gone for the year with a knee, but we'll talk about that later. First, we're gonna
let you know right now. You can have Pat Fryermuth.
I mean, he's better than
or like Joe. What you want?
Like it's either him or Evan.
Evan Ingram.
Evan Ingram in Jacksonville. But again, we'll get to that later because I have a lot of thoughts, and I'm going to the group for some assistance. But let's start with NFL. Week 10 is behind us, and we had a lot of weird games this week. The Bills had the most craziest ending to a football game that I have ever seen. They fumbled the game to the Vikings. Jay Jetta make the catch of not even the year, like of the millennia. Yes. It's better than the Odell catch. Like the Jay Jetta, like dog.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's him. Yeah. And the Eagles pass over him. Your Packers dead in the water before the game. Hopeless. We didn't think about anything. And the Packers beat the Cowboys in overtime.
It's so funny too that we talk about the Packers, because remember last week we talked about teams that like our teams like we would like that our teams kind of struggle to match up with, and you were like, yo, the Cowboys look at y'all as the team that they just struggle to match up with and beat, and I was like, yo, I think I remember saying this. Yo,
you said it was
Cowboys there should be no reason that the Cowboys should not take us out back and handle their business. Oh man, 14-point lead going into the fourth. I mean, you can't script that. Go ahead.
You can't. And losing in overtime. Chiefs beat the Jags. The Dolphins the Dolphins outlast the Browns. Bucks beat the Seattle over in Germany. And the Giants, the New York Football Giants, are 8-1. They're 8-1, right? Are they 7-2? They're 8-1.
I think they're 7-2. They have 2 losses. One to Dallas.
They lost to Dallas. What's their second loss?
I bet you they
lost. I thought they're the same record as the Eagles, but the Eagles have the tiebreaker. Are they 7-2? Yeah, you're right. You're right. They're 7-2.
They
only have the 8-1 team. Yeah, the Vikings are 8-1, and they're only lost to the Eagles. That's why the Eagles are the number 1 seed. So, D, what are your 2 big overreactions for Week 10 in the NFL?
Oh man, are we talking real overreactions? Let me start with the most obvious overreaction that I know you all are waiting on. The Green Bay Packers are fucking back, baby.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, we are fucking back. What does that mean? That means we are back to having a Victory Monday, dog. Yeah, it's so good to say those 2 words after 4-5 weeks. Man, big overreaction number 1, Christian Watson has arrived, and he is here to stay. And it would not surprise me if we look down a couple years from now and we look back at this wide receiver draft and we say, Green Bay took Christian Watson in the 2nd round. That was a steal. That is my overreaction number 1. My overreaction number 2.
Mm-hmm.
The Bills should not have beaten Kansas City the week they beat Kansas City.
Ooh, okay.
And this is why. I think after they won that one, they got a little too high on themselves. And they was like, all we got to do is keep doing, like, all we got to do is show up to other people's arenas or our own arenas, and we should be able to just outbeat everybody that we play because on paper, we are a better team than most people. And I'm telling you, they after they beat Kansas City, they was just like, as long as we stay ahead of them, they got to come to us.
Yep.
But they always forget that this always happens with Kansas City. Kansas City gonna lose a game they should not lose, which I'm guessing, I'm looking back at it now, is definitely an Indianapolis game.
Yes.
Definitely an Indianapolis game.
Yes.
They lost. They lost to the Bills, which was supposed to be okay. Now we at least got one loss over y'all. We gonna be all right. And now what happens? They go play the Jets, and they think, oh, yo, no, these jokers are some suckers. We're going to run them straight out of here. No. Hard to win a road divisional game. Then you come back. And not only do you lose that game, but your quarterback gets injured. And I think this injury is a little bit worse than we're going to give him credit for. Now, granted, Josh Allen was out there playing, like Gator J said. Gator J said in the chat, Josh Allen's injury is more than we know. Then you come away from that game and you have an injured quarterback. I think he's a little bit more nicked up than they want to like give off. But he's out there playing. So I then have to say, next week you have the Vikings coming to town. As an NFC North fan, I'm looking at this Vikings team and I'm saying, this is the football gods rewarding y'all for how many fucking games y'all lost nastily last year. Now y'all are winning these games. Don't get it mistaken. Y'all are still the Minnesota Vikings.
Really?
The shove. Y'all are the Minnesota Vikings. And if the Buffalo Bills weren't the Buffalo Bills, y'all would have lost this game. Dog. The Bills should not have beat Kansas City when they did. Because I'm going to tell you what I think is about to happen now. I think Kansas City, they might lose 1 or 2 more games rest of the season. I think the Bills have 2 more losses in them. For sure. For sure, I think they got 2 more losses.
They're going to lose to Miami again. Hold on. Well, they already lost to Miami in Miami. I wonder if that game. Well, it's already cold outside, so I'd love to see Miami and Buffalo, like when it's cold outside. That'd be very interesting to see.
I think the Bills got 2 more losses, and I think this loss to the Vikings is going to be the loss they look back on as if we would have won that game, we would have tied with Kansas City for the best record in the AFC, and we would have had the tiebreaker. And they're going to come 1 game short, and I think. This is all going to be a snowball effect, right? Stay with me. It's all going to snowball because they're going to, those 2 are going to find their way back at the AFC Championship game. And I'm going to tell you, if this thing is back in Kansas City,
Dog,
they're not getting this shit off. They're not getting that shit off again.
If our quarterback can do a QB sneak, we could have home field advantage. That's wild.
It's because I'm telling you, Kansas City is one of those teams. They're going to lose. They're going to lose like 2 to 3 games at least this season. They have no business losing. Mm-hmm. Then you have to factor in at least 1 or 2 divisional losses, and then you have to factor in a loss just to another good team. I can tell you this, but I mean they gonna beat the Jags game. I can tell you they gonna handle their business like that. But like I think it's gonna be a little spooky. That's my 2 big overreactions. What about you?
The first one for me is the opposite of you. I'm starting to take Minnesota seriously. I was on that bandwagon with you, but it's something about, and I know it was very flukish, but when you got a man like Jay Jetta, like when you got a cat, well, I can just say, hey, dog, over here, bet. Yeah. That makes all the difference in the world for Kirk Cousins. Like Dalvin Cook is nice, but I don't know, man. Like seeing Justin Jefferson just take over like that. Like I'm taking the Vikings seriously.
He's different, man. He is so. And as a Packers fan, I obviously we play him twice a year, and he always going to give us. He's going to give us the business. But Justin Jefferson.
I don't even know who Justin Jefferson is.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though he is on my worst team, I would still draft him at number 3 all over again, just so I can be a small portion of his incredible season.
Let me ask you a question: who is the best wide receiver in the NFL?
Well, I think it's
you only get one. and it's probably going to be between Jetta and Hill.
But I think honestly, how are we ranking them? Are we talking about in terms of overall wide receiver, all of it? Honestly, I might take Devontae Adams.
I'm talking about.
If we're talking about like a nightmare, a matchup nightmare. That's Tyreek Hill, dog. You just can't game plan for that because there's no way you can coach speed. That is a fucking nightmare. He gives DBs hell. If we're talking about pure route running, Cooper Kupp. He gives DBs hell for 60 minutes.
How about this? You start in a franchise, you get one stud at wide receiver. Who are you picking? Who is it?
I think I might take Justin Jefferson given his age and his ability.
For 1 year. We're talking about 1 year.
Oh, man.
1 year. Who would you take?
I might take Cheetah. Cheetah. Yo, as someone who's a former sprinter, I've raced Tyreek Hill and can tell you that speed is legitimate. But two, I know speed is uncoverable, dog. There's very few like coverages that can just game plan for I can just beat you to the spot before you get there, and that's Tyreek Hill, dog. But I would say like a young stud in terms of a young wide receiver, I would take Justin Jefferson. But if I had to just take one for a year, Tyreek Hill.
Okay.
So I think this is an extra. This is my third overreaction.
Okay.
And this is more so a statement to you people out here. Stop playing with Tua's name. Stop playing with Tua's name. I hear y'all out here. Before Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle got there, before the season started, y'all said, how is he going to deliver them the football? Now he's delivering the football, and now y'all are saying, oh, you have Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. You should be good. Hey, yo, dog, I'm going to need y'all to keep the same energy when my man Patty Mahomey was out there throwing to Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill, and everyone was saying, yo, you're out there throwing to Tyreek Hill and Travis. No. Good players are good players, and someone has to get them the football. If y'all put respect on Patrick Mahomes' name because he was out there side arming and slinging dick the way he was, then put respect on the team. Pause me. Play me. Damn it. Play me. Put respect on Tua's name, man. We need to put respect on Tua's name. If Tyreek Hill, the league's leading receiving, the league leader in receiving yards, comes out and says this is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL, and he out there leading the league in receiving yards, then let me tell y'all something. He not lying. He got two wide receivers in like the top 10 or top 5.
Top 5. I think
like
it's top
he's
5.
Not lying. Tua Tagovailoa is currently sitting on my bench right now, and the only reason why I do not start him on a weekly basis is because I have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback.
You really? I had two. I have two in one league, and Tom Brady was my starter. Tom ain't seen the field ever again in his fantasy league.
No, fam. I was trying to tell other folks in this particular league, yo, somebody please come take Tua off of me. Like, he's going to sit on my bench and just rack up points. Everybody think, Tua, I want Tua. All right, dog, go start Kirk Cousins. You got it. Nah, go
ahead.
Enjoy it. Fam, dog. This is the same dude who said, yo, I think I'm going to ride Carson Wentz this week until Dak Prescott's back. I said, hey, yo, dog, okay.
Well, he going to lose. My second overreaction is, Jamie, you're not playing about Donovan Peoples-Jones, and you can see yourself out.
Door's that way, dog.
Door's over there, my man. But no, the second one for real is, I think, can we say Justin Fields has arrived? Like, can we get excited about Justin Fields?
Yeah, yes. Let's start by giving mad love to Justin Fields. Yo, Justin Fields. I remember when certain analysts out here were saying you was a bust, you couldn't do it.
Wasn't me. I was a Justin Fields believer. I wanted him to go to Atlanta. Justin Fields in Atlanta because that felt right.
When you get a true wide receiver one, you are going to be a problem.
Yes, because Claypool is not a wide receiver one. Like, yo, can you imagine if they get dog?
But what I don't want, Justin, what I don't hope is that the Bears turn the Bears turn the Bears into the NFC version of the Ravens, and then follow the
Oh
Ravens' game
yeah.
plan of not getting a true wide receiver one. It would not surprise me if like the Bears try to trade for a big name like tight end. Don't know who that could be, but I could definitely see the Bears trying to become the Ravens of the NFC, and I don't think that's. I think Lamar and Justin have similar but different skill sets. But Justin Fields has arrived.
I love
He's
it.
arrived. He's doing his thing. Um, he can't win any awards, but man, he's playing incredible.
Yeah.
He's taking the next step. Can you see it? Like you can definitely see he's starting to take that next step.
You can see that he can find, and it's amazing. Even like I said, Claypool's not a wide receiver run, but he is competent. It's amazing what happens. You can just get someone who is competent running routes.
Kyle said Jets, 49ers, Falcons, Panthers, Broncos. Who else messed up by passing on Fields? Kyle, ooh. I'm so glad you said this. The Jets and Zach Wilson are going to figure it out. I think Zach Wilson's a little better than he gets credit for.
No, Zach Wilson is cheeks.
I just think whenever Zach Wilson sees the New England Patriots, like he really shits his pants. Like it's quite wild. The 49ers, let's just wait and see what Trey Lance comes out to be. He got hurt. He wasn't playing. He's playing before he got hurt. Falcons. Listen, it is so obvious y'all do not trust Marcus Mariota to throw that damn football. If you don't put Desmond Ridder in there, what are we doing, man?
Dog.
Like, what are we doing?
Tell me Justin Fields in Atlanta just doesn't like that. With like that drive, I was like, oh my God, like that's just it's Vic Jr. Like it just felt right.
Mm-hmm. No, they need to put Desmond Ridder on the field. They need to put Desmond Ridder on the field immediately. Panthers, yes, Kyle. Panthers. You have traded for Sam. You have used draft capital to trade for Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield, and the best quarterback on your team is the guy who came from the XFL. And not only that, you guys are planning on going back to Baker Mayfield this upcoming week. So it's clear y'all, similarly to the Colts, are openly choosing to tank. So yeah, y'all fucked up on passing out on Justin Fields. I don't think the Giants fumbled it because I think the Giants have something with Daniel Jones. I think they're figuring it out. I'm telling you, man. Danny Dimes don't be playing bad, man. Danny Dimes don't be playing bad. Broncos. Now, Kyle, this is where I'm right here with you. On paper, do you know the Denver Broncos defense does not have a peer in the league? They are, by most if you add most metrics together, the Denver Broncos defense does not have a peer in the league in terms of competition. They are the best. So I look at this team and say, y'all gave 250 million reasons why you could have just kept Drew Lock and figured it out from there.
Sad times. I don't know though, because Drew Lock didn't beat Geno. Like Drew Lock is still a backup, but I would take him over Russ.
Yo, I just know when Denver called Seattle about Russ, that front office was laughing. Hey, yo, dog, y'all want what? I got you.
Who?
Like who? We got you.
He on the way.
Like fam, like he probably like they probably was like, yeah, hold. Let me let him know he's on the way to y'all right now before we even sign any papers. Yo, I'm trying to be. Is it too early to say? Is it early? Is it okay enough now to say the Broncos made a mistake?
Yes. Okay. They look like ass.
They look god awful. I feel like if you're in the locker room right now and you're a Broncos player, especially particularly on defense, what are you saying? Dog, we are not the issue here.
No. We're holding teams to 17 points.
17 points a game.
I think it's less than that.
It might be. They're probably over on the sideline this weekend like, yo, dog, Derrick Henry not even going off. Derrick Henry not even going off. Are y'all serious?
Yeah, they are allowing 16.6 points per game. That is first in the league.
When you look at a lot of metrics, the Denver Broncos defense has no peer in the league. It's at a point now where I'm looking at Nathaniel Hackett and I'm looking at Russell Wilson and I'm saying, this is not working.
Speaking of the AFC West, Las Vegas Raiders. Why are they so booty? Why do every week we talk about Who's the most
Very
embarrassing
well.
loss of the week? And I feel like more and more we're talking about Vegas jumping into that conversation.
Oh yeah,
Why are they so ass?
they fired John Gruden. Let me start there. And that franchise started going downhill when they fired John Gruden. I know what he. I'm not justifying his actions, but yo, there was a reason why Mark Davis went back and hired John Gruden, and there's a reason why, just strictly in regards to football, John Gruden is very much respected. Very much respected. Now, I'm not going to speak about his personal stuff. Obviously, we know about that. But just from a football standpoint, there is a reason why John Gruden is very respected. Okay. So, the reason why the Raiders are so ass is because since his departure, they released a number of first and second and third round picks.
Mm-hmm.
They've went and spent money on the offensive side of the ball and they brought in like big name defensive players, i.e., like a Chandler Jones, but they've
Yep.
never figured out how to put all this talent together to win. You cannot tell me that an offense that has Josh Jacobs, Hunter Renfro, Devontae Adams, Darren Waller, and QB'd by Derek Carr, who's not as bad as everyone gives him shit for. You cannot tell me this team should only have what, 2 wins?
Yep.
2 wins. You
Two
shouldn't be
wins.
losing, fam. You remember a couple weeks ago, maybe like a week and a half ago, when the Lakers played Denver in Denver, and no, the Lakers played the Lakers played somebody and beat that team, and then like 2 nights later, the Brooklyn Nets came into town and played that same team and lost, and the next day Steve Nash got fired.
Yes. I can't remember the team though.
I can't remember the team either. I feel like we are maybe one or no, we're one more loss away from I think a very similar thing happened. Who do the Raiders play this weekend?
So you want to know something funny? I'll look that up real quick. I actually researched who do the Raiders play this weekend while I tried to make a point. So I was listening to Bomani the other day, and like, yeah, in a perfect world, they would fire Josh McDaniels, but he has a theory that Mark Davis can't afford it because apparently the owner of the Raiders is one of the brokest owners in the league. Like in regards to his peers. So if you fire Josh McDaniels, you're going to have to pay the rest of that contract out. And Bomani was like, yo, he ain't got the bread for that. So you
You know,
got to keep him.
you know why? Because I think they're still I think this Raiders organization is still paying a lot of people who are not currently on staff.
Yes.
And that's why that might be why he's broke too, to Bomani's point. They're still paying John Gruden.
Yeah, they're probably still paying
Mike Mayock,
what's
too.
who?
Mike Mayock, the old GM, they probably still
Yeah, that's yeah.
like
Good
it's
luck, Vegas. Good
yo,
luck. At least you
I
got the
want everyone
aces.
to go ahead. No, go ahead.
At least you got the aces. They're WNBA champs.
They are. Shout out to my girl Asia Wilson, girl. You are 10 out of 10 5. I lost my train of thought thinking about goddamn Asia Wilson. Let me tell you what a fine woman will do. You listen, listen, listen. I'm trying I done lost my train of thought. Oh, not go ahead.
Damn.
Yo,
She got you like that?
I started thinking about her running the finals, man. She was balling, wasn't she?
You know what? Since we're talking about basketball, talked about the Lakers. Let's talk about some NBA. There's been a
Oh
whole
yeah.
lot of action this past week.
Oh yes,
On
sir.
Sunday alone, we saw 250 burgers.
250 burgers.
One from Darius Garland, and then Embiid 59.
That boy bad.
That boy.
He bad.
Listen, he coming for the MVP. I'm here for it. Also, on another note, he cut ties with FTX, the crypto company, after they filed for bankruptcy. That is a wild ass story in and of itself. If you have some time, go look up the FTX board and how this is all playing out in the public. It is hilarious to a degree. And on the low, the Golden State Warriors are struggling. And every time I turn around, Klay Thompson is saying some quote about how they down him. It sounds like he makes it sound like he came back from cancer. Anyway, and Kyrie still isn't playing basketball. What NBA storyline do you want to focus on?
Oh man. Okay, I want to be silly. I want to be silly. I'm gonna be. I was gonna be serious, but I want to get silly. Miami Heat, dog.
Yes. Yes. Let us talk about the Heat and who is trying to make a bid to buy the rights to the Miami Heat arena, and the Miami Heat should take this money.
Listen, I'm gonna be silly. What I'm about to say, please, please. I want y'all to know this is all jokes. But Miami Heat, you gotta find a better way to wash your money. You gotta find a better way to wash the cartel's money, dog. You have got, fam, FTX, fam. You gotta
You know
find a
who is
better way to
making a
wash the
bid?
cartel's money, Miami. Oh man, fam, this is
Do you
bad.
know?
What are we doing?
Oh, it's beautiful. That's what they get.
What was the old name of that
It was the
arena was
American Airlines. American
American
Airlines
Airlines
had
Arena.
the Heat arena, and they have the Mavericks arena. Like they had both of them.
Mm-hmm. And so, I was always like, y'all should never change. American Airlines is cool. Y'all got it. You know what I'm saying? That's a cool name. So then when other teams start giving name rights to stadiums, I'm like, okay, let's do it. Y'all are giving one out to FTX. So y'all saw the Lakers give one out to Crypto.com and was like, oh, we can do something similar to that. Y'all went to FTX. Dog, listen, I think I think the owner of FTX, he's currently not in this country right now.
No, he's not. I think
I think
he's
he's
being
not.
held in another country for extradition. Like he was trying to get to a country that does not extradite and got caught in a country that does extradite, if I am not mistaken. But
No,
do you know who is trying to make a bid for the naming rights for the Miami Heat?
Bang Bros.
Bang Bros. Welcome to Miami Heat basketball. This is Bang Bros Arena. I am here with Pat Riley. Pat, what on the floor? Do it. We need this.
I'm gonna get yo. Can we start thinking of outrageous companies that should just put in a bid for the Miami Heat? Pornhub. Start off. Why not? Pornhub, Brazzers, OnlyFans.
Can you imagine?
OnlyFans in the Miami. Yo, the OnlyFans arena in Miami might be.
That's it. The OF arena. That fit. That's it. Welcome to the OF arena. And then you know what you could do for bobblehead night? It could be like the most popular OnlyFans streamer. It could be like a bobblehead, but her instead of her head bobble, it'd be like her booty. Yeah.
They're gonna call that content creators night. If you're a content creator on OnlyFans, please, you get into the game for free. You get a bobblehead too.
Hey, dog, them boys, Jimmy Butler would retire. Jimmy Butler had more kids than Nick Cannon.
Oh, man, let me tell you right now. If they made, because Miami is already a hard city to be a pro. It's up there with LA and New York, and as in like cities.
I would say it's harder. I would say LA and then Miami, and that is a dog. Can you imagine? First 100 people to the arena get a free subscription to your favorite OnlyFans.
I'm gonna take it a step further. You know, every team, depending on who you're sponsored, like whoever named your arena, you got to do like some commercials and partnerships with them.
Oh.
Can you imagine Jimmy Butler in the OnlyFans TV commercial?
With big face coffee.
Hey, my name is Jimmy Butler. I'm a professional basketball player for the Miami Heat. But if you're a fan of me, you can't be my OnlyFans. But I know where you can be an OnlyFans.
That's it.
Oh,
we got to speak this into existence, dog.
Pat Riley, you have to find another way to wash the cartel's money, dog.
I mean, but you can wash it with porn, though. That's the most tried and true business. Can you can you imagine if Bang Bros get the naming right? They're gonna have and tonight's winners get to sit in the DP section, like.
You can see double the action from this scene. I'm crying, dog. Oh my goodness. No, okay. Okay. No. My next question is, what the hell do you think the Miami Heat did when they tried to cash the check from FTX and that son of a bitch bounced?
Oh, Pat Riley reached into his suit jacket, got his switchblade, and said, "Where that boy at?"
Pat
Yo,
Riley,
you know what? You know what Pat did? Pat called Udonis and was like, "AOU, check bounce."
you're gonna be like, hey, yo, no, we're gonna sit you for the next 5 nights. I need you to go find him. I need you to go find him.
I need you to
Oh
call Rick
man.
Ross. I need you to call whoever. DJ Khaled. I need you to find this guy, Udonis.
Oh man. I just know they're probably like FTX, sir. We just tried to cash your check, and it's saying
This line has been disconnected.
yeah. Oh man. Oh
Oh,
man.
oh no, Gator. Gator say we talk about this and your camera get blurry, sir.
Oh man. Dog, that
Oh.
is funny. But in all seriousness, prayers for everyone involved. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I've heard about the money that has been lost in FTX and in crypto, and I'm gonna say this: if that was my money, I would have went and found my man in that country. I would have went and found that man in that country. Matter of fact, it was clear that none of them hitters,
Mhm.
invested in FTX. Because if they did, my brother would have
Oh,
got
it'd be a wrap.
It'd be a wrap.
Before we move on, I do want to say one more thing. Don't forget, next time you're at a Heat game, go get refreshed at the Squirter station. So moving on to college football.
No, wait a minute. No, wait a minute. On a smidge serious note. on a smidge on a smidge serious note. The Brooklyn Nets. Y'all are gonna have to listen. I know your PR team is working very hard to figure out what the fuck are we going to do. It was 1 week ago. What did I say? I said y'all have ostracized this man.
Yep.
In a way that y'all are either going to have to backtrack the way y'all handled him, or y'all are gonna have to let him go because there is no in between. Y'all put that man on a cross and let the world burn him, and now y'all know y'all need him, and y'all got to either cool him off and heal him, or you got to let him go. But I'm gonna tell you, I listen. You know he was only supposed to be suspended 5 games, right? They on game number 6 tonight. He ain't playing. Players don't know what's going on. You know what that tells me? That it tells me when Kyrie, Sean Marks, and Josiah met, they probably quickly realized Kyrie is not anti-Semitic at all. I think they quickly realized that, and now I bet you the real internal battle is probably like, yo, Kyrie, you can't. Your views are your views, and it's clear you're not actively intentionally trying to spew hate. So we know your views are your views. Please be cautious on the views that you put out in the public. And Kyrie is probably somewhere like, yo, I'm Kyrie Irving. I have this platform for a reason. I want to speak. I want to use my mind. The Brooklyn Nets are like, I promise you, the Brooklyn Nets are probably telling them, please, every time you talk, we get attention. That's just not what we want. And he's probably like, I have this platform and I'm not trying to spew anything wrong. I just want to get the message out there. I'm telling you, the Brooklyn Nets are going to have to. I think the Brooklyn Nets, if I were the Brooklyn Nets, I would come out with a statement and say, I prefer their, collaboration and chatter with Kyrie while we don't agree, and while we collectively acknowledge and what's the word? When you don't agree with something, like just
all I got is disagree.
Like we vehemently disagree with anti-Semitism and any type of hate speech. But at the same time, Kyrie Irving is one of ours. He is our family. We have brought him back. We have understood his ways, and we are thinking of ways to move forward. They're gonna have to come out with one of those. You know what I'm saying? Listen, the statement should not come from Kyrie. It has to come from the Brooklyn Nets. Has to, or it's gonna be ugly. I just don't know when else he'll play for him after this.
Well, you know what he could do? He could always buy tickets to the Glory Hole Suite at the Miami Heat Bengals Arena. It's so funny.
Man, they would have him in the owner's box.
Oh yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Glory Hole Owners Box.
College football, dog. Oh man, got
They
to.
write themselves. It's too funny.
Oh my gosh, I'm crying. Okay, college football. Talk us
Yes.
through it. Holla at us.
All right. So this week, LSU they solidified their spot in the SEC championship against UGA. Oh, they didn't beat UGA, but they will face UGA in the SEC championship. Let's see. Because they beat Arkansas. That's right. Bama bounced back. They beat Ole Miss.
Mhm.
Clemson beat Louisville. UNC beat Wake Forest. TCU was continuing to roll in the Big 12. I forgot who they beat. I guess the only thing left on only big dog left on TCU's schedule is Oklahoma State, right?
They already beat Oklahoma State. Came
They
back
already
in
beat
the
Oklahoma State. So who's left?
I think they might have to play Baylor. I think from now, I think their biggest thing is just like you got to remain undefeated and you cannot take anyone lightly. I'm all in on TCU, by the way.
Yeah,
I'm all in.
I feel the horn frog from here.
Yeah.
Pause. Ohio State and Michigan are still undefeated as this clash. That's next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is next week. And then Oregon fell to Washington. I watched that game. Whoever the Oregon coach is, Bo Nix is on the sideline saying, "Hey, dog, put me back in. I'm okay." And he's like, "Nah, I think." And then you lose the game. So that's on you. With all
Mm-hmm.
of this, what are your thoughts on the latest rankings by the committee? Let me see if the committee has released the rankings yet.
Should be.
Yeah, no, they have not. It is
They have
on
not.
late tonight. It comes out.
Somebody
Oh
said.
wow, 9 o'clock.
Okay. Nine. Okay. All right. So top of the hour. Okay. Well, I can tell you who I think should be in the top four. I
Okay.
honestly think the top four is going to remain the same with UJ, Ohio State, Michigan, and TCU.
TCU.
But I will say this. Over after Saturday, I was just listening to a lot of the analysts and reading and listening to people talk about Tennessee and their chance to get in. And what really kind of irked me about it is Tennessee is not going to win their conference. And to me, you cannot justify, I don't care what conference they in or what their fucking record is. You cannot justify putting a team that did not win their conference nor even played in the conference championship game in the
Correct.
college football playoff.
I agree.
And I need analysts and people who claim they know college football to stop putting out that message to the world, because what happens is when they keep putting out them type of messages, what happens? When the rankings come out and it's four teams and all four teams are conference champions or played in the conference championship game, now you're getting Tennessee fans like, oh, but we already beat LSU. But we beat LSU, but they're a two-loss team. We beat them in Baton Rouge. Okay, yeah, you did. But you know what you didn't do when you needed to? You didn't beat the team you needed to beat to
And you
get
got
to the
throttled,
championship.
right? It's one thing to lose to UGA like on the last second field goal. Then maybe you could convince me, yo, UGA beat the piss out of you. And it was evident early that
And
game wasn't close.
and I'm telling you right now, the analysts are setting up UGA. I mean, not UGA. The analysts and the people who cover college football are setting up Tennessee for failure. I think the playoff committee is too. Take them out of the top 5, 6. You need to let it be known that this is a good team. Yes, this is not a college football playoff contending team. They had their opportunity. It's gone. Because this is what okay, so this is what it don't make sense to me. If if we all know that the winner of Ohio State Michigan knocks the other one out of playoff contention,
Yes.
why do we not hold UGA and Tennessee to the exact same standards?
Well, because the SEC is a superior conference.
Is it?
That is the idea. So my question to you is: so instead of Tennessee, would you put LSU at 5?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm putting LSU at 5.
I am with that.
I'm putting LSU at 5.
Yeah, I'd put LSU
Tennessee,
at 5.
yeah, because Oregon lost, and I would say, yeah, LSU
Yeah.
had probably the better win. They went on the road at Arkansas, Tennessee. I mean, who did Tennessee play? They play
I would put
Vanderbilt at home. Like, yeah, I'm
yeah
putting like,
LSU 5, and I'd put
yeah,
USC at 6.
yeah, because like we need to start. I think that's the issue, and I think that's how we got to this expanding the playoff thing conversation going because the media kept pushing these narratives like, oh, this team. I mean, this team still has a chance. Like they've always done that ever since the first time two SEC teams got into the playoff that year. They've been pushing this narrative. How do you justify? Even I saw Booker McFarland trying to say, I don't know if Michigan beats Ohio State or if Michigan loses to Ohio State by 3 in Columbus, I still think they have a potential argument for that they should be it. And I'm like, yo, dog, are you smoking crack?
You won't even
No,
be in the Big Ten championship game.
right? It's like I don't see how we can have college, like you can't have a playoff in college sports and not take conference champions.
Correct.
This is not basketball when you have 64 or whatever teams, and of course you're taking the best teams from which of which. This is football. This is a violent sport. These fam.
But
You know
do
what
you
I'm
remember? Yeah, do you remember? And someone in the chat, if I'm wrong, correct me. Like there was a time when the Big 12 did not have a championship game, and they tried to pull that co-championship, and the committee was like, "No, neither one of you are getting in. Have a championship game, crown
Yep.
a champion, and then we can start talking." And I believe that's what happened. I think Oklahoma got in one year
Mhm.
because they were the outright Big 12 champion without having a championship game. But there was a time when the Big 12 didn't have a championship game. And I think like Baylor and I believe it was Oklahoma were co-champions, and they were
Mhm.
like, "No, neither one of
Neither
you
one
are
of y'all
getting
got it.
in. Get a
And
championship game."
I'm gonna tell y'all this: the Big 12, what the Big 12 has done with their conference championship, I think the other Power Five conferences are soon about to follow.
What? Not have one?
Not have any
Gator.
divisions.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all. Gator said that was the BCS. Are you sure that was the BCS? Because I feel like when the college football was first introduced, like Oklahoma got in one year. I believe that was Baker's Heisman year, or they got in and they played in the Rose Bowl or something. Gator, if I'm wrong, let me know.
I
I
think
could
they
have
played
swore there was a time
they
when
played
Big 12.
I think they played the Orange Bowl against Clemson, and they got
That
beat
might
down.
be it. I think that's it because Baker played in the Rose Bowl and lost.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there was a year
against UGA.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, but no, I think because I start thinking about there's two conferences, and let me tell you why I think that a lot of conferences are going to emulate what the Big 12 are doing. I look at the SEC and I look at the Big 10. Think about the SEC West and that the Big 10 East.
Yes.
Yes,
Where
SEC West is the
freaking
Big 10.
Iowa.
No. Whichever division in the Big 10 where Ohio State and Michigan is, and then the SEC West. I look at those two divisions and I'm saying every year we know the conference champion is literally coming out of this division. Why do we have divisions? Why do we have divisions? SEC is looking at it like, hey, yo, dog, every year Georgia just beats the hell out of Vandy, Kentucky,
Mizzou.
Florida, Mizzou, whoever. And every year Bama has to play LSU, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas, A&M, LSU. I mean, these teams got to all play, fam.
I
And I
love the
think
idea of no conferences.
Oklahoma, you're just like, fam, there doesn't need to be any divisions in the SEC. Let's everyone play each other.
Yeah, I love the idea of no divisions. Gator
I
J
think,
said, "Go ahead."
I was going to say and then I think there's some conferences. I think it's better with divisions. I think the Pac-12 go ahead keep divisions because y'all because the Pac-12 is a jumbled mess. Like I mean, really, you just never know. Year in year out, you don't know who's going to come in. So I think divisions are cool there, but I think in divisions where it's clear one division is just straight out the best division in this conference, and we just need to cut the divisions. I go to SEC and I go to Big Ten. You know.
So Gator J back to the Big 12 championship. Gator said once the playoff committee got in, it was the one true champion conversation. Yeah, and he also noted about you talking about divisions in 2025 when Texas and OU join. There'll be 16 teams in the SEC, and that will change the layout.
Yeah. I think
D,
I think speaking of that, like 16 teams, I mean, how many they play how many non-conference games? What, two, three?
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you could either take one non-conference away and then have everyone start playing each other, or yo,
That would be interesting.
listen. At what point? Okay, and that's another thing I think is going to change because of the playoff committee. Eventually, teams are going to have to like. I think the playoff committee is trying to push Power Five schools to start scheduling non-conference games with each other. Fam, you're not winning me over playing Eastern Washington and Southern Illinois every year.
Well, so
And
that's more so to help those small schools than it is to help the big schools. Like those schools get a lot of money. A lot of schools earn their budget for the year by going up to Bama and being sacrificial lambs.
yeah, I would say I guess I should say this. True college football playoff contenders, and I think we've had the system now for what 8 years now. So we know the teams that are legitimate contenders and teams that true legitimate college football playoff contenders. Your non-conference game should always be Power Five schools. Period.
Yeah.
I just
So
like
instead of Montana State, go play Syracuse.
and I
Boston
want there are some schools out here. They don't care. They will play you wherever. Bama is one of them. Like, well, granted they have like games against the Citadel and stuff like that. But check Bama do not be afraid to play anybody. Anybody. UGA, I'll give them that. Like UGA, low key, they'll play a non-conference game.
Go ahead
Oregon
and
really
say
don't be afraid to play anybody either. They're like, there's a couple of schools. I'm like, yo, Ohio State, Notre Dame,
Clemson.
Clemson. Oh, Dabo. I will give you this. Dabo is not afraid to schedule a game versus anybody. You know why? That would be looking at Dabo is looking at the ACC like it's sweet.
Because it is.
It is, man. We so sad in the ACC. We are so sad. Yeah, what do you think of Drake May,
Who's that?
the quarterback for UNC? And they're saying,
Oh, the freshman? Like, he's a true freshman, right?
they're saying if he was draft eligible, he would be like QB1. And I'm like, yo,
Chill
how
out.
do we get here? Like,
How do we get here? Chill out.
how do we get here? All right,
Chill out.
ready to get into the quick hitters?
Let's do it. So, Monday Night Football, Commanders and Eagles. Do you have any quick thoughts or quick hitters on that?
Honestly, yesterday's game is the definition of any given Sunday. Legitimately, we do all this analyzing, we look at all the numbers and so on and so forth. But sometimes, yo, someone just kicks your ass. Someone just kicks your team's ass, and you just got to live with the result that day.
Yes.
And that's kind of what happened last night. I went to that game thinking Eagles plus 10.5, and it's not even going to be. They're at home on a Monday night. It's not. This is going to be a beat down. And literally, from the first time Washington got the ball, and they put an emphasis on running the football, and they were converting, and they were staying ahead of the sticks. I said, "Oh yeah, I didn't see this game before." As a football fan, we've all seen our team play that game where you just cannot get the other team off the field on third down, and you just know, roster for roster, this team is not better than your team, but for some reason, your team cannot get off the field. Hey, what do they say? The other team gets paid to play football too.
They do.
Go ahead, my brother. I'll let you talk. The floor is yours, Eagles fan.
I only have one thing. That ref must be a college ref because when he took a knee, he tried to convert the third down, realized he couldn't do it, ran backwards and took a knee. The play was still live. And if we're using that logic, when Quez Watkins fell after catching the ball, he should have been down because that's a college rule. Like when your knee hits the ground, the play is over. Heineke tried to convert a third down. It's not like they were in victory formation. Someone jumped across the line to hit him. He tried to convert a third down. He scrambled and then took a knee. The play is still live. He didn't slide. He took a knee. How many times do we see players fall, not be touched, get up, and continue to play?
But I think the thing with Quez though, when Quez initially caught the ball, rolled over, no one had touched him. And I
No one
think once
touched.
they,
No one touched. I'm saying if we're using the referee's logic
oh, I see what you're
of
saying.
if we're using his logic of well he was down and gave himself up. Well,
Oh, because he was.
Quest caught the ball, he gave himself up too because he dove to catch it. He had given a right. How many times
That's
have
not
we
a,
seen?
Danny, that's not giving yourself up. That's he got up and tried. He got
No.
up and made a football play.
So here's my
He dove
argument
to
to
make the
that.
catch. That's why his knee hit the ground.
Here's my argument to that. So Taylor puts his knee down. The refs don't blow the whistle and the clock keeps running. Then what? Or he puts his knee down. The defense thinks he gave up and they stop pursuing him. He stands up and chucks the ball to McLaurin for a first down.
No. He's not doing that because
I'm
the
just
next
saying, but
time
like,
he
how
puts
many
his knee
times do we
down.
see running backs fall, not get touched, get up and keep running?
No. Are you talking about Quez or are you talking about Taylor
I'm
Heineke?
talking about Taylor. I'm talking about the last play. I'm talking about the late hit play on
Okay.
Brandon Graham.
So I think the big issue with that is I think it was the way it looked versus what actually happened. I think
Because
I
it's
think a lot
again
of
like
people are
it's
trying to more. You can argue semantic wise. That's a funny penalty to call at that point in the game. But I think the eye test when you see it live, you got to throw that flag because you got to protect quarterbacks. Look, if they're going to protect any position out there, it's going to be the quarterback.
I hear
If and
you.
when they do it, is all. If and when they decide to protect quarterbacks, is always untimely, and that I can say was a very, very untimely penalty. But I
will
don't
say
think it was the
this.
most egregious one. I still don't think it's the most egregious
The
one.
face mask one was absolutely
Yeah.
bonkers. For me, it's like if you have a team that's willing to push the envelope, like a Bill Belichick, like who's to say you don't try that play, have Mac Jones take a knee, defense gives up, he gets up and throws it, right? Like you have to touch someone so they're down, especially in that kind of situation where he's trying to convert the third down. Again, it's not victory formation. We know what time it is. And like Brandon Graham cheap shots him. Like he tried to convert a third down. He took a knee. He
Let
is
me tell you.
live until someone touches him down.
Let me tell you something. The reason why that won't happen, what you're talking about, like the little trick play there in the NFL, is because my man, they're going to make sure that you feel that
Yeah.
hit converted. You are not going to be. You are going to go back to your offensive coordinator and say, "Yo, take this play out of the playbook for good." And that's why I don't think you'll see it. That
I
was
mean,
a.
but you saw like in college, Asher, Kenny Pickett with the fake slide, right?
And you
Same
saw what they
concept.
immediately did afterwards.
They
They
took it
changed
out.
that. Yo, dog, we not letting you do that. No, because because then if we let you do it on an open scramble where you that clearly wasn't the original intent, what happens when someone decides a play like this? No. Someone's gonna get hurt. No, we're just gonna take this out, which is smart because when you decide to give yourself up, let's just call it down. Brandon Graham just made a bonehead play, and sometimes that just happens, Joe. I mean, let's be real. I don't know if that really would have. I don't know if that.
Eagles would got the ball back with like 35 seconds left.
I don't know if that would have.
I mean, it's worth.
Y'all
All
was
I
gonna
need is a chance.
y'all was gonna lose that game.
Speaking of putting your quarterback in danger, Byron Leftridge went into Tom Brady's ear and said, "Hey, dog, I'm gonna have Lenny throw you a shoulder fade, a
Yo,
back shoulder fade. Are you ready? Just like
can
we
you
practice."
talk me through that? Show me your reaction when you watched it live. So I'm gonna show you because I'm gonna show you mine.
I just stuck my head in the pillow. I was like, "Yo, they trying to lose." Like if you're like an 8-1 team and you're up by 21 and you want to put on a little show for the German fans, that's cool. But dog, you fighting for your life right now. You on the verge of being in the lottery, like you on the verge of being the top 10 draft team, and you out here having Leonard Fournette throwing back shoulder fades to Tom Brady.
Look
All
at
right,
what Kyle
man.
said. Kyle said, "Didn't the Patriots try that already?" Yes, and they failed miserably. Dog, I'm watching it as it happens live. I said when Lenny got into a third motion, I said, "No, this Negro is not."
And that man, and it was
Man,
a terrible throw.
it was a terrible throw. Brady, old ass, gonna try to high point it, then slip. Man, Tariq Wooden was like, "Yo, this might be the easiest interception of my life. Y'all about to help me win
That's going
defensive
in the
rookie of the
highlight
year."
reel. I
Oh man!
just like, can you? I'm trying to think of what
If
Todd
they would have
Bowles
lost
said.
that game, dog, someone would have to see the offensive coordinator in the locker room. That good
The
thing they won that game.
Dog, can you imagine like Todd Bowles in the headset, like Byron, you call that play again, I'm gonna beat your ass in the locker room. I will beat your ass and you will be
Yo,
without a job. Hey yo, do you think the Rams, the Cardinals are gonna give people their money back for making them watch a preseason game?
yo. Did you know that both of these quarterbacks were going to be out up until like, yo, I found out like Sunday that both these
Yeah, like
quarterbacks
so,
would be
yeah,
hurt.
Red Zone was like, we don't know. Red Zone
And
didn't know until like Scott Hanson was like, dog, I don't know if Kyler or Matt Stafford are playing.
yeah, I'm sitting like I had picked the Rams minus 3.5, 2.5 because I was like the Rams always beat the Cardinals. This is an easy layup, and then I literally found out that day that Matthew Stafford wasn't playing, that Kyler Murray was questionable, and I said, "What the what, fam?"
Yeah.
I couldn't. I was watching Red Zone, and Scott Hansen gave somebody tickets to the game, and at the end he said, "We don't know if Matthew Stafford and Kyler will be there." I was watching. I said, "Man, if you don't take them fucking tickets back, dog, who wants to go watch John Wolford and Colt McCoy?"
And Colt McCoy got hurt.
He did get hurt. He
Like,
did get hurt.
dog.
He did get
Yeah,
hurt.
like they took that to the absolute deadline.
I know some fans were calling that the Rams sales department like, yo, can I get my money back? I don't think I
I know
even
you're not charging me for this.
yeah. Yo, we talked about the fighting Jeff Saturdays a little bit up in Indianapolis,
Jeff Saturdays.
but I need to know because let's just think about this situation, right?
Right.
So Matt Ryan's playing bad.
Yep.
The Frank Reich comes out and says we are going with uh, whatever the white boy name is,
Oh
right?
wow.
They God, I forgot his name. They played him for 2 games, and they got bulldozed in both of those games. Jim Irsay then goes on to fire Sam Ellinger.
Sam
So
Ellinger.
they start Sam Ellinger for 2 games. They get steamrolled.
Yep.
Then Jim Irsay fires Frank Reich because now he has reason to. This team has 1 win. They have tied with the 1-win Texans. Like this is bad. He then not not shortly after he hires Jeff Saturday,
Correct.
and Jeff Saturday benches Sam Ellinger for Matt Ryan,
Yep.
and then they go out and win a game.
Correct.
And now you're thinking, wait a minute, hold on. Did Jim Irsay intentionally tank for 2 games to justify firing Frank Reich? And if so, my G, you could have done the exact same thing with Matt Ryan playing quarterback, and you might have won 2 games, and you really might be in true playoff contention.
Here's the thing. Jim Irsay don't want to be in true playoff contention. Jim Irsay in the race for CJ Stroud, Bryce Young, and that kid from Kentucky. Let's see where they are on the tankathon. See where the Colts are drafting. Right now, the Colts are 15th. Dog, that tie is going to bite them in the ass all year. Right now, they are drafting 15th. Had they not tied and been 4-6, they could be up to 12. That half a win, it's going to bite
So
them
at
in the
this
ass the
point,
rest of the year.
now you gotta ask yourself, why did they really? So you think Jim Irsay really tanked then?
I think he's still trying to tank. So here are their next games. They play Philadelphia Sunday,
Really?
Pittsburgh, Dallas, Minnesota, the Chargers, the Giants, and Houston. I could see them beating Pittsburgh and Houston, and that's it.
They're being generous. No, okay, first off, Pittsburgh's not letting them beat them.
Yeah, that feels like the TJ Watt game.
That's going to be a nightmare for a replaced quarterback. The Texans, honestly, the Colts are going to be one of the teams in there that they absolutely have no business beating. I just need to know who is it going to be because the Colts are starting to be the team that if you lose this team, your head coach, we gotta look at him just a smidge funny.
Dog,
Smidge funny.
we have to watch 3 Colts primetime games before the year is over. They have a Monday night game against Pittsburgh, the Sunday night game against Dallas, and then a Monday night game against the Chargers. Dog, we got to flex these Monday night games. I
Well,
am
they
not watching the Indianapolis Colts play football. I am not.
if Peyton and Eli are commentating it, I'll watch it. But
Yes, that's it. I'll watch any game if the Mancast is on. Do you have anything else on the Packers?
uh, we're back. We're gonna be back, and by back I mean we won. I don't know if we're gonna win on Thursday. Thursday night games are trap games.
Yep.
Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? I'm ready to talk fantasy when you're ready to talk fantasy.
I am ready to talk fantasy. Let's do this.
I want to start with our redraft league since we got our redraft amigos in the chat. Shout out Gator J. Shout out Kyle.
Let's do it. Let's do redraft.
I'll read the some highlights of the weekly report.
Okay.
So shout out to Say It Not Shay It 8, best team in the league with 202.4 points, which is big because the worst team in the league was the previous number 1 seed. He only scored 104 points and he lost. Players of the week, we got Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position, Dalvin Cook at the running back position, CeeDee Lamb from the wide receiver position, and Travis Kelce.
Yeah, this is Dynasty, not redraft. Thank you, Gator.
Yes, this is our Dynasty League chat, not our redraft chat. Bench warmers. When I looked at the bench warmers, whoa. Greg in our league benched Justin Fields. I was looking at his matchup and I was like, wait, why aren't you playing a quarterback? I didn't want to say it because I already told everyone to set their lineup. So I figured he had done it. He later comes out and says he thought he had started Justin Fields. Oh, I know he's sick. He would have won. Jeff Wilson. I wasn't really expecting that one. Obviously, someone had Christian Watson, Bam, and benched him. Shout out Bam. I don't think he's in here tonight. He also had Cole Kmet. Bam, you left a lot of points on your bench, brother. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, you did.
Danny. So let's look at the standings right now in our Dynasty League is interesting. I'm going to start in the National GM Conference because let me start in the American GM Conference. The American GM Conference, I'm still leading the division at 8-2, 3-game lead over Gator J at 5-5. 4 games left to play. I mean, I don't know. 4 games left to play. I have a 3-game lead. I think one more win and I should solidify myself as winning the division.
I think so. I think you can start talking about that.
Yeah. In the National GM Conference, this is where this league gets very, very interesting. The National GM Conference has 2 7-3 teams, a 6-4 team, and a 5-5 team. Some hitters, yo. Like the 5-5 team is the second best scoring team in that division. You're 6-4, but you're the worst scoring team in your division. So you're finding ways to just win games.
Yes.
And then there's 2 7-3 teams, both with a legitimate chance to win the division. So
and I just beat the 7-3 team. That was me. I won with Christian Kirk on the bench. Holla at me.
So the National GM Conference is wide the fuck open. I'm going to be very curious to see who comes out of that one. And hopefully I can go ahead and solidify my division crown and, get ready for the playoffs.
Get your bye week going.
Get ready for the playoffs. All right. Are you ready to get to our redraft league?
Let's do it.
So, people, we are talking about our redraft league. Let me remind you, this is a 10-person PPR redraft league. 2 divisions, NFC and AFC. Currently, Danny is still leading the NFC at 7-3. He lost this past week and had a big injury at tight end. Danny, you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so I think last week we talked about I made a trade for Jalen Hurts. It did not pay dividends this week. Derrick Henry had a bad game. Nick Chubb did his thing. Debo Samuel had a bad game. I'm a little worried about Debo. A.J. Brown had a bad game. Josh Jacobs did okay. My only weakness, in my opinion, was at tight end. My tight end was Zach Ertz, and my depth is Evan Ingram. As you all know, Zach Ertz blew his knee out. So now I am kind of scrambling for some sort of tight end depth. Right now, I have made. Well, I don't want to tell you because you might take it from me, so I'm not gonna say what I did. What I'm trying to do. But I'm trying to find some more depth at tight end. Evan Ingram is on a bye this week, so still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do on that front. I might try to make some sort of trade for some sort of mid-tier tight end. I have a lot of wide receiver depth. I might see if I can unload one of my wide receivers for some
Wide
sort of
receivers. You
dog.
got mad running backs.
Nah, those are my bread and butter. Like I hang my hat on those. So like I might see if I can take George Pickens or Garrett Wilson and see if I can pry away some sort of tight end depth from somebody. I don't need a star. I just need someone who can give me 5 to 6 points a week. That's all I need.
You need a serviceable tight end.
Yeah, I just need a
Well,
serviceable tight end.
I mean,
I mean, I have Gabe Davis. You want him?
I had Gabe Davis. What are
I
you
know.
talking
I know. That
about?
was a
I got
joke.
you. All I got is Pat Fryermuth and Gerald Everett. Yo, on paper, I keep looking at this roster in this particular league of ours, and I don't understand how this team is as bad as it is at 4-6.
Yeah,
I'm
it's a
on.
good.
I am on a 4-game losing streak, but I have Kirk Cousins and Justin Herbert, Tony Pollard, Dante Foreman, David Montgomery, Leonard Fournette. I have Justin Jefferson, Devin Duvernay. I got Keenan Allen, Chris Godwin, Chris
Jay
Olave,
Herbo.
Jay Herbo at the quarterback position, Pat Fryermuth, Gerald Everett. And I'm on a 4-game losing streak. It's what it really is, and I was thinking about this earlier, and I was kind of chatting about it earlier in our group chat on Twitter. I drafted this team around Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. And
Yes.
literally the worst thing that could possibly happen to my team happened. Keenan Allen got hurt, and all of Justin Herbert's receivers also got hurt. I'm fucked.
Let
I'm
me
fucked.
let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
John has Dalton Schultz. That's the kind of tight end I need. Do you think he would let me get away with it without giving up any of my running backs?
No, no.
Okay.
He has Jamar Chase on IR. I'm telling you right now, he's banking on. He's got Jamar Chase, Devontae Adams, and DJ Moore. He needs a running back. He literally needs a running back. He's
Yeah.
starting Devin Singletary and Cordell Patterson. He is going to
Yeah.
say, you can have Dalton Schultz or Tyler Conklin. I'm gonna need Josh Jacobs, one of the three. He's gonna ask you for one of the three.
He not
So
getting those three. Those are my breadwinners. I've won a lot of games on the back of Josh Jacobs and Derrick Henry. I'll figure something out.
I want everyone to know. Y'all remember the dude who I went on the rant about last week? Guess what he
Yes.
fucking did? He lost.
He
Duh. So now he is in firm fucking last place. Guess who called that one? This guy. Whatever. Let me ask you something, man. Do I start Justin Herbert this week against the Chargers? Or do I start Kirk
Wait,
Cousins against Dallas?
who are the Chargers playing?
The Chiefs.
Start him over the Chiefs. Dog, Dallas is going to eat Kirk Cousins alive. Like Micah Parsons game on deck.
I just look at what I keep going back to this Justin Herbert and it just has not been paying off. And
then you see him Sunday night make that crossing route throw. Like it's like he threw it through that 49ers defender. Then you see him do that, and you're like, okay, I believe again.
yeah. So I will say this. I'm reading Keenan Allen's supposed to be returning back to practice. Dog, I've been reading this for like the last month.
I was about to say that sounded like last week.
Is he coming back or is he coming back? I don't know. We'll know. Y'all know I have Cousins like 2 spots ahead of Herbert of my rankings this week. So Kyle, let me ask you something. Do you think I should play? I have Justin Jefferson and I also have Keenan Allen. So I have both of their quarterbacks. So Kyle, do you think I should go with Kirk Cousins to Justin Jefferson? Like leave that connection in there and just because then I would consider then if Keenan Allen does play, I might put Keenan Allen in as my flex. But I also have Chris Olave. But does anybody really trust the Saints offense to do anything?
Hell no. Shout out Howie
And
Roseman for getting that first round pick.
and one of these days, I would love to know, would absolutely love to know what the hell the Lions are doing with their running backs. I have Jamal Williams, but yo, when I start him, he like either scores one time and doesn't do anything, or when I bench him, he scores twice and DeAndre Swift does nothing. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Tough
I don't get it.
times.
How many do you think the Cowboys have enough on tape with Tony Pollard to say, yo, Zeke, we don't need you to come back?
So I think, full disclosure, I think Mike McCarthy wants to give Tony Pollard the start, but I think Jerry Jones was, because Jerry Jones admitted about, no, Zeke is the guy. It runs through Zeke. But I have a feeling the people who do this every day, the football minds, are probably like, dog, Tony Pollard needs to be RB1.
Think so?
That would be my guess, because Jerry has come out a couple of times and it's like, no, it's Zeke, it's Zeke, it's Zeke, it's Zeke.
I still don't understand that.
I mean, he loves Zeke. I think there's a soft place in his heart.
I think he's got I think he's got a couple million reasons why Zeke's gonna play.
Yeah.
Uh, so Kyle says it's a tough call. I like the Cousins and Jefferson. Allen start if Keenan plays. I think I may too. But I am going to really. I think the scary part is Chargers and Chiefs is Sunday night game.
Oof.
Chargers and Chiefs are a Sunday night game. So
really, so the Chargers get 2 Sunday night games in a row?
mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Also, Kyle, since you're here, how do you feel about David Montgomery with Khalil Herbert on IR now, randomly?
I hope that I have David Montgomery in our dynasty league, and I really need him to do something for me.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if David Montgomery or Leonard Fournette like actually like starts producing the way I drafted them to, I'm telling you, my team. Okay, so here's the definition of my team: boom or bust. But when they boom, my team can go the fuck off. But when they bust, I shouldn't even be allowed to be drafting in fantasy. And this is how I know that this is how I know this team in particular is a straight boomer bust. You know, I drafted pretty similarly across multiple leagues in terms of whoever my quarterback is, trying to find their best offensive weapon and try to match it. So let me go through my leagues. I'm in five leagues, 9-1, 8-2, 7-3, 5-4, no, hold on. 9-1. We played 10 games, right? Yeah. 9-1, 7-3, 9-1, 8-2, 7-3, 5-4, 4-6 in this redraft league. But when after draft day, I said, no, the team I have in this redraft league, I said, hands down, this is my best team. This is the one I think will win it all. And that one has been the most fucking frustrating. And the team I was like, I don't know, has been my best team because essentially I picked up Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and then I traded for Juju Smith-Schuster. Oh, fam, that team is a problem. When the Chiefs are on offense, everyone I play, they just hate me. Oh, man, you're only doing that because you got Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. And?
Too bad Juju's out. I have Juju too, but I feel like he's going to be out this week.
I think he is too. So here's what I'm thinking about doing. This last thing I'm gonna say when we get out of here. I'm thinking about in this league. I drafted Najee Harris, my first round pick. I've been trying to trade him. No one wants to do it. The trade deadline's passed. He's gonna be benched for a while by me. I'm thinking about picking up Jerick McKinnon. I'm thinking about running Patrick Mahomes, Jerick McKinnon, Travis Kelce, and that's if Juju don't play. If Juju don't play, I'm gonna run my usual.
Okay. I hope Juju plays.
I hope he does too. Yo,
because I have a lot of people on buys.
This team, I'm telling you, this team is nice. Patrick Mahomes, I'll run my last week. Patrick Mahomes, Damian Pierce, Jeff Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Juju, Travis Kelce, Devontae Smith. I got Harrison Bucker. I got Najee Harris. I got DJ Moore, James Robinson, Devin Duvernay, and then my backup quarterback is Tua Tagovailoa. I am 9-1, and I have been slapping some teams around. Like when I was when I was 6-7-0, everyone was like, when I was 4-5-6-0, everyone was like, no, this team's only a matter of time. It's only a matter of time. And I keep telling, I was like, yo, Patrick Mahomes, like, first off, he's spreading the wealth around, and I have his best receiver, like legitimately his best receiver. Are you shitting me? Also, shout out to Lamar and Mark Andrews because I need that connection to come back.
Yes, they are back, baby.
I
We
need
back.
that. Let's, you know what I'm saying? How many you think? I mean, what are your leagues? What are your records in leagues? You're in 2 or 3?
Yeah, I'm in 3, so I am 6-4 in Dynasty. I am
7-3 in
7-2,
draft.
7-3 or 7-2, 7-3,
So
7-3.
we
You're
played,
right.
yeah, we played 10 games.
And then I'm in a Yahoo Fantasy League with some old colleagues of mine. I do not care about this league at all. I barely participate. I am 3-7.
So you really got 2 leagues. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
like I really don't be paying attention to this, and
I will
half my
say
team is hurt.
I will say this is like the first year because I've been doing like draft like workbooks and trying to figure out my drafting strategy. This is the first year I legitimately went in and said, whoever my best offensive skill position player is, go and get their quarterback. And I can tell you, it has been very, very successful. Very
Interesting.
successful. Now, do I think this will be an every year thing? No, because it's going to be hard. But I think you got to just find connections. Like
Yeah.
in that league where I was 9-1. A lot of people don't know my original go to was to get Stephon Diggs after Najee Harris because then I would immediately picked up Josh Allen. But what happened was somebody took Stephon Diggs. The dude before me took Stephon Diggs. So when he took
That
Stephon
happens.
Diggs, I immediately took Travis Kelce. Just immediately took Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
And then when it snaked around to me, I immediately took Patrick Mahomes. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna figure this shit out. Then I took Jalen Waddle. And Jalen Waddle was really the steal.
Jalen. I
Jalen was
should
the steal.
have. Gator J had Jalen Waddle on the trading block earlier this season, and I thought about it. I was like, nah, I'm good. I should have came and talked to you. Now the price of the
Listen,
brick is high.
I'm considering going in, like really trying to go all in and trying to win this year in this league.
Hey, come talk to me. I'm looking to build. I'd love to have my second round pick back. I'd love to have my second round pick back if you talking right.
I only get like 3 picks next year. We only get 3 rounds next year. That's really 3 people. So I gotta think about it.
Come
Because
talk to me.
I got 2 second round picks. I might want to keep.
I got 2 first round picks.
I know. That's it. Yo, how do you feel? How do you feel though about that? Because you technically we both really won this trade if you like really think about it.
Yeah, it was a win-win.
We like easily both really won this trade.
Yeah, I'm fine with the trade. I have my eyes on some people for our redraft league. I don't want to reveal my strategy, and then I have John Mechie coming back hopefully next year off IR. Javonte Williams will be back. Will be coming off IR. So I don't this year. Like if I make the playoffs and win, cool. I don't expect it. Like my team is really in shambles right now. Hopefully next year we'll come back full strength, get some promising rookies, maybe make some picks, maybe make some trades. We'll see.
Yo, I might try to be like the Rams. I might try to go all in. If I win, if you know what I'm saying, if I'm lucky enough to win,
Well, what do you need? What do you need?
A wide receiver. But I say that I think I have Tyreek Hill in this league.
Okay. I mean,
but I need I want like another. No, I don't have Tyreek Hill in this league.
Okay. I mean, you want like a
no,
Mike Evans?
I do. Excuse me. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah, I do. I need it. I just
like a Mike Evans or like a Christian Kirk.
Maybe, but I also want a stud, and I might dangle out 2 first round picks and see if someone can give me their best wide receiver.
I mean, Christian. I'll give you Christian Kirk for one of those first round picks. I'll give you Christian Kirk for a second and a third. Let me look at your roster.
We can talk about it. All right.
Yeah, let me look at your roster. Y'all, once we sign off, make sure to catch Gator J on Cheat Sheet at 9:30.
All right. And Danny, let the people know where to find us. I'm going to find us a little song for us to maybe get up out of here.
find me on this Bird app at Danny Ocean 41. If you see my eyes wandering off the screen, you do have Tariq Hill in this league. I am on D's team trying to figure out if there's a way we can figure
Gator
out
J
a
just said
trade.
Devontae Adams for 2 first-round picks. Yo, I got to think about that one because he might
Ooh.
have me. He said
Ooh.
Devontae Adams for 2 first-round picks.
Oh,
I
don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can top that. But it looks like you need a tight end. I have 2 decent tight ends. I have Dalton Schultz.
I got Mark Andrews.
Oh, that's right. So I got T.J. Hawkinson and Dalton Schultz. But never mind. You got Mark Andrews. We can
Tyreek
talk.
Hill and Devontae Adams on the same team with Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry. Oh my
God, that's vicious.
Nah, I don't know, Gator J. Are you sure you want to do that, dog? Are you sure you want to do from a competitive standpoint? Are you sure you want to do that?
Gator J said, "Come holler at him."
All right, Danny, let the people know where to find us, my man.
Find us on Twitter, Instagram, speak on it _ speak on it _pod. Again, as always, speak to us, send your questions, speak on a pod 14 at gmail.com. It could be anything fantasy related. It can be any kind of question. Speak on a pod 14 at gmail.com for your questions. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, speak on it _pod D. Where can the folks find you?
People, make sure you're following the kid on Twitter, on Instagram, on Twitch, on YouTube, anywhere where you can find socials. Even on Be Real, if you're a Be Realer, I'm here.
Okay.
At LosDeemix, that's LosDeemix. Make sure y'all holla at me. I'm here. Love the people. Love the chatter. Shout out Kyle, Gator J, everyone for pulling up. If you're listening via the audio, make sure you like, make sure you comment. We're really trying to grow both our own platforms, but as well as the pod. We're trying to, what I'm saying, we want to expand our audience. I think this song I'm about to play. The song I'm about to play is from a new album last week, dropped by one of the greatest of all time, and Nas. He linked up with producer Hit Boy for the 3rd installment of their King's Disease series. This is KD3. The song right here is called I'm on Fire. Here, I'm gonna start it over, give this a little bit of flavor. Some white linen sheets. The bed almost caught a blaze. The temperatures was 100 in the room. I'm like, what's up? Still got the same flame behind me from the heat. We out.